Well, hello, friends. This is a really gentle class today. You could send this to your parents, your grandparents. You could do this with your kids, with your fur babies. It's chilled. Now, I'm going to encourage you to grab a block, or if you don't have a block, something equivalent, similar, just to lift the hips up. Ideally, it's a little bit firmer. Pillows are good. You might want one or two, but we want to begin with a little bit of a lift in the hips. So take your time. If you need to pop off and grab one, please do. This is a 15-minute class. And as you arrive on the mat, I want you to notice your sitting bones. Feel the grounding of the sitting bones into the floor, the block, the pillow. Allow your hands to rest wherever they fall naturally. And if it's okay for you, close the eyes. And as you begin to settle, take your attention to your navel. Lift up in the navel. So the posture becomes somewhat dignified. Maybe even notice your shoulders. Do they need to be looped up and back? What feels like there's a sense of pride in the position? We're really just trying to encourage a comfortable seat, not too effortful, but also not slumping, collapsing, just in that middle spot. And then draw your attention to your breath and observe a couple of breaths in and breaths out. Where I am today, there are huge black clouds in the sky. It looks so ominous. And I was walking to the grocery store earlier with a little umbrella in my hand, and the umbrella felt very futile against these immense clouds. And at the same time, I fully accepted that whatever was going to happen was going to happen. I was either going to get drenched and have to completely change my outfit, or I would be fine. And either way, my worrying or thinking about it would not help the situation or affect it in any way, because my thoughts do not affect the weather. But sometimes I'm not as good at separating those two out. Interlace the fingers, turn the palms away, reach the arms up. Sometimes I worry about things that I can't control. And then begin to turn to your right. I'm going to my right, so you'll be going the opposite way. And come back through the middle and go to your left. And so one of the practices is just noticing when we have these thoughts, release the arms. Plant your hand over to your right, sweep the left arm up and over. Just noticing when we have these thoughts. Maybe they're worrying about something in the future, as an example. And realizing that the worry is supposed to be helpful. It is supposed to prompt some action. Change which shin is in front. This will feel a bit unusual. And if you can't take action, if it's something that you cannot control and you cannot change, and no amount of action will affect things, such as me maybe hurrying up at the grocery store or buying fewer things so I can get home sooner. Beyond that, we just have to let it go and say, is this helpful? Interlace the fingers again, reach the arms up, turn to your right first, turn your belly, turn your head as a result, come back through the middle, and then turn to the left. And then release the arms and plant the right hand down, left arm sweeps up and over. And come back to the middle, plant the left hand, the right arm reaches up and over. But either way, I'm glad you're here. I'm glad we're practicing yoga together. Come onto your hands and your knees, because sometimes it just helps me see things differently. It helps me accept the things that I cannot change, but like the serenity prayer. So your hands are shoulder distance apart, the knees are hip distance apart, and we'll begin to lean forwards, bringing a bit more weight into the hands and lean back. Leaning forward slightly, weight goes into the hands, leaning back, weight goes into the feet. And you can go faster or slower than me, whatever feels good. And then come back to the middle and take the right leg up to the side, plant the foot. Let the whole right foot be flat on the ground. From here, this is a big twist. So I'm going to give you options. Option one is just threading the right arm underneath a little bit and just kind of reaching it. And as you do that, you're turning away from that straight leg. Option two is to begin to bring your head down to the ground. And it's a bit of a steep curve, and then begin to thread the needle. And then I guess option three would be you could completely start winding the body. You decide what bus stop feels good to you. I'm going to go with the gentle one. And as you're doing this, you're turning your torso away from your leg. Notice that the leg may start to clench. See if you can relax there. Come back, and then just a little bit of forward and back. Just a little forward and back, slowly or faster, whatever feels good to you. And how does your body feel when you twist? When you begin to add a little bit of tension, perhaps, by wringing out the rib cage and the torso, bring the knee back to the midline, left leg extends, the foot plants flat on the ground, a little bit like gate pose, Parigasana legs. And from here, thread the left arm. And so the first option, to go over it again, is just beginning to bring that left hand underneath the back of the palm down and turning your torso to the right. Second option would be bringing your head gently to the ground and creating a difficult situation for yourself deliberately. And then third option is the right arm threads behind the back. You're going to have a little bit of weight in the head in this pose. If that's the case, move your hips back and you'll let more of the weight go into your knees, which is a good thing. And then gently unfurl the twist. Keep the leg where it is and rock forwards and backwards. Just keeping an eye on the time for us. And then bring that leg back to the midline. Good. Step your right foot forward between your hands. Straighten the leg. Now, if you've got a block, this could be quite useful because you can put it underneath your hand to steady yourself. But what we'll do is we'll start to rock forwards and backwards and forwards and backwards. And just notice how that is. And then turn to your right a little bit. And this is an any amount situation. You can decide. You're going to feel the outside of the leg. Just notice how it feels to do a kneeling twist. How does the rib cage feel? How's the breath? Is the breath easy in the body? Is it hard? And what happens to the mind when it's in a tricky situation? Come back to the front and then just lean forwards. And we'll plant the left hand, take the right arm up in the air, turn towards the front thigh. Return the hand down, let's step it back, changing sides, left foot forward between the hands. You could move your prop over to the left if you're using one. And then we're going to rock forwards and backwards. So just being really kind and gentle to the body, but also just observing what happens in all these different twist situations. Straighten the front leg and then turning to your left any amount. You're going to really feel this. If you're not sure, just see if you can notice sort of the outer part of the hamstring, the back of the leg, beginning to get a little bit more tension going there. And remember to breathe. Hollow the belly, lengthen the spine, lift up in the navel, and then bending the front leg. Plant the right hand, peel the left arm up. See if you can get both eyes to follow that upper hand, or even just going in that direction. As you turn the chest, feel the length of the left collarbone. Exhale, coming down. Let's tuck the back toe under, lift the back knee, and step forwards. Or you can walk forwards or any way that you like. And then bend the left knee, straighten the right leg. Vice versa. Again, if you've got a prop and you want to use it, you could put your hands on the prop. You could even bring your hands to the seat of a chair. Bend one leg, straighten the other. So what happens when you do a standing twist? And then coming hands to hips, pushing into the feet, coming up to stand in amongst the jungle. So let's take the right knee up in front. You might have to transfer the weight to the left foot, right knee comes up. We're going to take the left hand to the outside of the right knee And then lift up in the chest, lift up in the belly button, and take the right arm behind you. So this is a closed twist, but it's a standing closed twist. And how is that different? Also, it's only a 1 foot on the ground standing closed twist. Come back to the front. We'll do 2 feet on the ground soon. Left knee floats up, right hand comes to the outside of the knee, the left arm maybe reaches behind you. And again, if you need a wall, go stand by the wall. Use your hand on the wall. Press into the standing leg. Sense of humor is helpful here. Maybe the head turns back. Come back to the front and step the foot down. All right, inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, fold all the way down. Halfway lift, hands to shins. Let's plant the hands at the front of the mat and step the right foot back into a lunge. Now, let's take the right foot, spin it down 45 degrees. And in this case, you could use your plant or a block. I'm going to take a block. I'm going to take my right hand to the block, my left hand to my hip, and I'm lengthening the spine and turning to the left. Now, this is a closed twist with 2 points of contact, or 3 points of contact on the ground, but 2 feet down. And you're going to feel this is different than the standing pose we just did, even though they're both closed twists. My question to you is, how do both versions feel in your body? Come back to the front, step the back foot forwards, left foot back. Spin the foot down 45 degrees or so. You might even actually step the foot in a little bit and then take your hand to the block. You can bring it to the floor if that works for you. Right hand is on your hip, guiding the right hip back, and you're turning your torso to the right. Press into both feet to grow the spine a bit longer. How is the breath when you're in a pose like this? Coming back. Good. From here, let's walk around to the long side of the mat. And then you can wiggle your feet a little bit wider, heel toe them out. Exhale and fold over the legs. Now, if being upside down is uncomfortable for you for any reason, for the eyeballs, for the head, then you can come upright a little bit more. Up to you. But if you're okay folding deeply, we're going to extend the arms in front of us on our fingertips. And as you come onto the fingertips, allow the head to sink down between the arms. And then lengthen the sitting bones and lift the hips, or lift the sitting bones up behind you. Left arm threads underneath, holds the outer part of anywhere on the leg it can get, and then you turn to your right. Come back through the middle. Thread the right arm underneath. See if you can hold any part of the outside of the left leg, and you'll use that grip to gently tug on the arm as you twist. Maybe you look underneath your left arm, maybe you don't. Come back to the middle. That was the advanced part. Good. Heel toe the feet back together. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. And then come down into a kneeling position. Now, if kneeling and sitting back on the feet isn't comfortable for you, then again, your block, lowest height, widest width, or even middle height. Coming back to the kneeling shape, feel the fold of the legs. Feel the top of your feet on the ground. We're just going to twist to the right. Take your left hand to your right knee. The right hand may just be floating behind you. It might not touch the ground. And turning, come back to the middle. Turn the other way. Very good. Remove the prop. Lie on your back. The best part is always toward the end of the class. Hug the right knee into the chest, take the left leg long. Now, this is exactly what you did standing before. You'll take your left hand to the outside of the right knee, guide it across the body. Maybe the right arm comes out behind you. Reach through the left foot as though you were standing on it. So it's exactly the pose we did at the start or middle of the class. And as you take that leg some amount across the body, the head goes wherever it feels good. It might go straight. You might look straight up. You might look behind you. Come back through the middle. I always like to reach my arms long and my legs long in this case, and then hug the left knee into the chest. Guide it across the body. Left arm out to the side. Reaching through that right foot as though you were standing on it. Stream the leg long on the mat. Feel the support of the spine. Come back through the middle, reach the arms long, reach the legs long. If time permits, please enjoy Shavasana. Just pause this video so it doesn't auto cue onto something else and take a delicious Shavasana. Otherwise, that was your practice. We'll step our feet to the mat. We'll roll over to one side gently. Come out with lots of care and reverence for your body. And briefly bring the palms together in front of the chest. Thank you for doing your practice with me. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day. Stay dry, friends. Namaste.